I'll tell you, this is a wonderful day for me. I cannot believe all these people traveled a great distance to come and see me. This is wonderful, and I appreciate all the things my nieces and nephew have done. It's just wonderful. I see cousins I haven't seen for years. No one could ask for anything better than this.
Okay. Well, my name is Louis Rossi, and I got to be the oldest grandson of the Albanos.
And you're still kicking.
Okay, and still kicking.
You got some stories for us?
Well, the stories. Okay. The Albanos are noted to be a little combative. It's a normal thing for an Albano to try to kill another Albano, you know. But they never really they don't do it on purpose. They kind of fool around a little bit.
And if they really hate him, they make it last a long time.
The only thing that keeps them from killing each other is their husbands or wives. The grandchildren, they get a kick out of it, so we keep it up, you know. We used to have these parties pretty often at one time, but we haven't done that for quite a while now.
Because we're also
The
old.
problem is that we're not able to get to the place that easy. Right now, we're in a situation where all the old guys live in the same area, and the younger people, they don't mind traveling. This was a very good time.
Oh.
I'm sure that everybody had a good time, and as far as I can see, everybody looks pretty healthy to me.
Yep. And Bobby put the whole thing on, and
Yes.
it's wonderful.
Artioli Dodge. That's who we got to thank for. Very good. All right, thank you.
Hi, I'm Robin Johnson, and we're having a family reunion, mostly because our uncle came up from Florida and he hasn't seen his cousins in a long time. So we decided to get, it's like a cousins weekend. He's got to see all his cousins and his generation, and then the next generation got to see all their cousins. And then the new generation all got to meet their cousins. And it all started in Naples, Italy. We had a grandmother and grandfather who came over here, and they had 12 children. Carmine told me 12. I thought 10, I don't know, but
Grandpa had 10 in his family. I think Grandma had 12,
Yeah.
and great grandma Albano had 3 miscarriages. So I think it was a total of 15, but
a lot of kids.
a lot of kids.
And they all, like 5 were born in Italy and 5 were born here, or maybe more were born here. And they all settled like in the same part of town, and then they all got married and had children, and everybody like were friends and stayed together and close all their life. And then as they got older, they moved away, and now they don't get to visit with each other all that much, so that's what we're doing today. And it's been a wonderful, it started like yesterday and probably won't end until Monday. So it's going to be a few days of just good food, good people, and a lot of fun.
So my grandfather, Cologio Polari, was born in Naro, Sicily. It's a small town. My grandfather went back 60 years later, and they still didn't have running water or a bathroom. That's how small their town was. So he came over when he was 10, came over on the ship America, and they were in the bottom floor. My grandfather told me, I don't know how many people had died on the way here. And on the way back, supposedly the ship sunk. So that's a story my grandfather told me. And also, basically, the town of Naro migrated to Thompsonville in Suffield, Connecticut. One family would come here, and then another family, and before long, almost an entire village of Naro, Sicily was living here. And if you read the obituaries every once in a while, especially when someone's in their 80s or 90s in the Thompsonville Press or something, you'll see someone, you know, they'd say the birthplace, and it was Naro, Sicily, and I used to take notice of that. I don't know, I just, maybe 50 years from now people will be saying that, but
Yeah.
our family's from basically Naples and Narrow Sicily.
Yeah, and what's nice is it's the feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel this weekend. So everybody plans on going down there at least tonight or tomorrow, maybe both nights, and go to the Mass tomorrow, and it's a tradition.
Italians, when they came into Ellis Island, I always didn't understand why they had called us wops, you know, and I found out it was because we were without papers. That's why Italians got that. And my grandfather's name was Cologio, and the name was too long, so the guy just wrote Charles or Charlie on his certificate. So basically, coming here, someone changed his name for him. I mean, there's a lot of stories. I'm not sure which ones are true or which ones are folklore. And there's actually so many stories because my grandfather played the mandolin, the banjo. He was a storyteller. He made great wine. He could garden. He taught us how to fish and to clam. And I know I'm rambling, but I sort of want to get it in because it only takes one generation for people basically to lose touch with their ancestry. So.
And he liked to have a good time. That was his best. He liked to have a good time all the time. Even if you went over there at 9 o'clock in the morning, we had to have a drink and have a good time. Right?
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, we used to have a cottage down the beach.
Oh,
This
We
is
could
it.
go on
Exactly,
and on
yeah.
and on.
We would
Keep
have
it going.
20-something people staying at. My grandfather built this cottage. My Uncle Dom used to own a junkyard, and this was during the war. So like every week, I mean, gasoline was rationed. So every week they would go there and they would go through the junkyard and see what kind of lumber they could pick up. And eventually they built a cottage in Westbrook, Connecticut. And on a weekend, I spent every summer of my life until I
Yeah.
was 18, same as Robin,
Yeah.
at our cottage.
Chucky, Carmine, Tony, all of
In
us.
Westbrook, Connecticut, and there would be 20 people staying at our cottage with maybe 2 bedrooms, an attic, and a honeymoon concert. And everyone, I mean, we all sort of lived in unison with no problems.
Best time of our lives.
What year was that?
Oh, that was in the 60s and 70s.
I was out.
50, 60, 70.
Yeah. Well, I've been to Italy, but I didn't visit our village. But I will tell you one story. My grandfather left Sicily, and he went back 60 years later to see his family, his older brother, Uncle Momo. And they really didn't know each other, so when my Uncle Tom and my grandfather got off the plane, and my Uncle Tom said it was one of the most moving moments of his life, is my grandfather had a white handkerchief in Palermo at the airport waving it, and he looked out in the crowd and he saw this older man with a white handkerchief. It was my grandfather seeing his brother Momo, who sort of sent him off to America 60 years earlier, and I guess it was a pretty emotional time, you know, I can only imagine.
You give me goosebumps.
Yeah. And they had a sister there too that she wanted to come. So all the family here pitched in all their money and sent it to her. And she sent back a piece of her wedding dress. Instead, she got married instead of coming to America. But
So everybody got their money together to have
Yeah.
her come down, and she
Yeah.
decided to get married instead.
yeah, but she sent him a piece of her gown, so they were happy.
That's what's up.
That was awesome.
What about nowadays? What's going on nowadays?
Well, we get together once in a blue moon. That's why it's so special. Because we never get to see each other. So, but when we do, we have a great time. And it's so nice to see all the younger children and everybody's family and talk about old times.
And we were all very close.
Yeah.
All of us cousins were very
Yeah.
close. We spent a lot of time together, and my grandmother and grandfather were probably more responsible for that because they really committed a lot of time and energy into their family.
Yeah.
We would spend time at the cottage, and we would all have a bed, and my grandparents would sleep on the couches. I mean, they did little acts of kindness that still resonate in our lives today. So I have nothing but fond feelings of my time with the old country, sort of the immigrants who came here with all kinds of dreams. I don't know.
All right.
That's it.
That's a wrap.
my pencil set.
And then you got some gift, and you had a quarter. You ate the quarter. Your mom had to go through your poop for like 2 days.
I ate it.
Yeah, you ate the quarter. Your mom had to go through the poop for like 4 days.
I can remember that.
How about grandpa with the heel?
Well, the night netting.
Oh yeah.
I remember grandma used to eat the razor clams. That's like an image in my mind. I was really young.
And then when you thought you were like, okay, the big passage was going on the outside of the net, and you're doing this like, this isn't so fucking fun.
I don't know what I was thinking. You're up against some jetty, like
You go over to his toes with the crab.
Yeah.
Oh God, what happened? That's from the lawnmower in summer.
Crabs did that.
Crabs? I remember that.
On Sill, right? She's doing
Doc
the...
Wolf.
Huh?
Doc Wolf. Can she hear?
No. So Sill's driving the lawnmower. Little Bobby wants to get on. She'll blame him. She's like this. Oh, come here, Bobby. Oh, ho, ho.
I went to get out. I stepped right on the blade.
Oh God.
And guess who found his toes? My mother. She's like, oh dear God, I found it.
Yeah, obviously did.
You want that in the video?
And he went on to have a successful soccer career.
At Elon College.
That's right. Good stuff.
Spade, and we got all the clams, the mussels, and San Marino, he would clean them. All he had to do is bring them to him. So we knock at the door, there's nobody there, so we leave him there. Not knowing, in July, he's on a 2-week vacation. And he was like a homicide cop, so he opens his door. Mussels have been sitting in his garage for 2 weeks. He's like, I thought somebody put a corpse there. They had to get a special, like, company to ionize.
I remember having to, when you were old enough that you could be on that outside, and again, you get to night and that water be getting right up around your nipples, and you'd be like, oh dear God, again, and on your tiptoes. And then you'd have to keep it down! It would float up. It is down! Come on, turn it over there! Drag it! Right? And then the big pull, right? And the guy stands like this, and you gotta go all the way around.
Yeah, and you're going like to the guy that's going to be the post. You're like, stop.
Right? And then you drag it, and then at the end of it, what a joy when you open that up and you see the flutter in there, and then you see the eels and the flatfish, right, the flounder,
And then somebody be biting the heads off of the shiners.
Yeah.
Then they'd go clamming way out with the tubes and the baskets and get like the periwinkles.
We were out one time and the tide was coming in, and my dad would tell it like it was ominous. It was a cause for concern. And he's like, "Did you swim all the way in?" Yeah. All right, every man for himself.
Well, I had 3 children and a wonderful husband, but he passed. And I still have wonderful kids who are good to me and grandchildren who are great children. I have no complaints. I have a nice life, a nice home. I don't know what else I can say. I couldn't ask for anything better. Very happy. And everybody's here, and my whole family, and they care for me, and I care for all of them.
Were you born here?
I was born in Enfield. Yes, I've lived here all my life, and met Bob, and then we got married, and we moved here to this house.
Moved right in here, huh?
Yeah, we were married a lot of years.
How many?
Many years, maybe 30 years, and then he passed. They don't like me to say pass. I don't usually have the word die. And he'd be very proud of them because they're all good kids. And they're all good to me. And they come visit, and you see, as you can see, we get together, we have a lot of fun. We're a nice family. And there's nothing more I can say. Oh, goodness. How many grandchildren do you think? Oh, God. They each have a couple, 2 or 3. They're nice kids. They're all good to me. My son lives next door. A little boy comes over and visits with me a lot. Kids come over. I have no complaints. Just that, Bob's gone and it's not the same. But he would be proud of all of them.
Can you kick?
What?
Can you kick?
Can I kick?
Can't kick your legs. Give them a
I can't complain. I mean, I have a nice home, a nice family,
can't kick.
and I can't kick. My legs are tight, and I have I have no problems, none.
You happy we're all here today?
Very happy they all were able to come, and we'll do it again. We'll have God willing, we're all here, and we'll all get together. It's nice. The families can do that. I don't think there are that many that can. They're all scattered here and there. But we're very lucky. Very lucky. All my children are around. Yeah, Bobby's next door. Robin's down the street. And Joey, you're not far. Joey's not far. So, you don't complain when everything's good.